Welcome back, y'all. Another episode of Old Glory Garage. On this one, we're gonna lower a dump truck or something. Let's get at it, show you what we're doing. Let's go. What is going on YouTube? So today we are lowering, not the mower. We're not lowering the mower. Cutting some springs. I'll show you the process for that I usually use. And then we're going to try to cut up that Crossmember there. Try to get total 3 inches of lowering out of it. So, let's go. Alright, trying to be on a budget and you don't want to have thousands of dollars for lowering kits. Something you can do with your springs. There's two methods of spring. One of them's kind of sketchy. So the first one, some people use like an oxyacetylene torch and heat these up while they're in the truck until they get the right ride height and then let them cool. So it'll heat it up and then it'll shrink the spring in the vehicle. Or you can cut springs on it, which is what I'm used to doing anyway. So my method for it is you'll get a tape measure out. I'm going to do 2 inches on this. You'll measure from the bottom here at a balance. So you'll measure from the bottom and 2 inches on the tape. You'll kind of roll it until the 2 hits the top of the spring there. So that should be 2 inches lower at that point. If you put a mark and then cut it right at that line, there's no guesswork. The whole thing's compressed to when it's in the vehicle. So 2 inches here will equal 2 inches of lowered automatically with that. So I already went around and I did this one to check, and that's how I decided I wanted to go 2. So 2 inches on here, and then we'll mark the 2 on this one. And I'm going to put these next to each other just to compare. And pretty much right at the same spot. So equal between sides. And yes, I know it's flat in the bottom here. I think you can buy like a rubber or plastic piece, like a pocket for this to sit in. So that way the spring isn't going to ride funny in the pocket of the control arm. Or if you want to get fancy, you can kind of angle grind it flat there so it sits a little bit better instead of it just being down like this. It'll sit actually flat. But we're gonna grinder to go really fast with it. You can view this on camera. So we're gonna kind of wedge it right here. And these are just springs, so I'll go back and touch them up with paint. I know there's some chips. They've fallen over, been dropped a couple times already. Because I don't know if I can get all the way through with a blade on that thing. Remember folks, wear your safety squints and probably some hard plastic over them. I've had a lot of experience with death wheels, but it only takes one time pressure sideways on it for these to blow up. Alright, let's do it. Well, it's like 95% through. I need to whack it with a hammer so I don't have to cut it twice. Ah, we gotta cut it twice. That ain't gonna work. Ah, dang. It bounced on the floor. I already gotta fix the paint anyway. Just throw it at the floor real hard. It'll come off. Alright, clean up the end. There's no going back now. Alright, there's 2 inches. It don't look like much, but it adds up. So we got 2 inches here. I'm doing 1.5 inches over there in the Crossmember. Alright, same thing in the other one. Then we gotta touch up the paint on these. Alright, a little bit of paint touch up. I know I got the biggest brush I have. It's the cheapest one, and a size that isn't used very often. It's the only reason I have one this big. We got any more chips on this thing? A couple. They haven't been treated well after they've been painted. They've been floating around because they're so heavy. You can't really hang one of these up. It's probably... Oh, that was too much paint. Oops. Okay. By the looks of it, I probably should have hand painted these from the beginning. Put a little reducer in so it lays flat. This stuff's laying out pretty flat just from a brush. That's cool. Okay. I think this one's done. Maybe good as it's gonna get. Just a spring after all. Oh, don't touch those. Okay, turn this way. Another spring. This one took more of a beating. This is only the one I threw at the floor. Whoops. Supposed to tackle, let this paint dry for like a couple weeks, like a week or so. In all the spots. I'm gonna go put some of that drying rack over there. That's a little extra red. A little protective layer on this one. What would have been ideal would be to mix a gallon up and just dunk the spring in it. Then you get everything coated. Alright. Little spot on these I had to touch up. That one's good. Dang it, Frank. Stop touching stuff. Oh, good choice. I'm just gonna not touch it. Okay. Alright, so those are done for the most part. Those dry for a while. Alright, so that's how you cut the spring on these to lower them. Same concept goes for like S10s, other trucks, anything with a spring over control arm set up like that. So, just a quick short one here. And the next thing, we're pancaking it. So, let's get the chopping. To the chopper. That's lame. Alright, break out the maple syrup. We're getting the pancake.